Good evening and welcome to WURD Radio's 2023 Level Up Pitch Party, where we are offering Black women entrepreneurs and the opportunity to pitch their business and win a marketing package grand prize worth over $5,000. I am your host, Amadi Braxton of Solutions on WURD, and I am excited to be hosting this pitch party this week instead of our normal Solutions show. It is the final day of Women's History Month, and what better way to celebrate than to offer Black women business owners a platform to share their ideas and the opportunity to level up. This is our fourth year of the Level Up contest, and we are excited to be co-presenting this contest in partnership with our friends at WVON Chicago and KJLH in Los Angeles. We're also hosting pitch parties for contestants in their respective cities, so it's really a multi-city event we have here. And why are we doing this? Because Black women are the fastest growing demographic of entrepreneurs from my research. We are, and I include myself in that as a business owner, we are a very important group in our community, a demographic of business owners in our communities. We not only are having full-time jobs and part-time jobs in addition to our businesses. We are mentoring other business owners, other young people in how to run businesses. We are employing members of our own community. And these are the things that we're contributing to the community. And so it's important that we at WURD and in the community at large support Black women entrepreneurs. And, we face many challenges as Black women entrepreneurs. We don't have as much access to capital as other businesses. We don't get all the access to opportunities and resources. And so we felt it was really important to continue our tradition of offering opportunity to Black women entrepreneurs as we close out Women's History Month. So we received over 70 applicants for this contest, and we narrowed that pool down to 5 finalists who will be joining us tonight to make their pitches to our panel of judges. And at the end of this broadcast, we will be announcing our winner. Tonight's grand prize winner will receive a wonderful marketing package, radio advertising on WURD Radio, an on-air interview with Solomon Jones this coming Monday, social media outreach on all of the WURD platforms, acknowledgement in WURD's digital newsletter. The entrepreneur's bio and business will be featured on the Livelihood website. They'll receive a 1-year complimentary membership to the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce, a complimentary small business membership to the African American Chamber of Commerce, a 2-hour coaching session with the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise, and on-air interviews on WVON and KJLH in Chicago and Los Angeles. So giving a platform even in other cities. So we're very excited to be able to offer this package worth over $5,000. And we are excited also to see who was going to win it tonight. So before we hear from our contestants, let us meet our esteemed panel of judges. First, we have Regina Hairston, who is the president and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Welcome, Regina.
Good evening, and thank you. I'm excited to be here as the African American Chamber of Commerce is celebrating 30 years of being the leading advocate for Black-owned businesses in the region.
Excellent. So this is your 30th anniversary.
Yes.
Anniversary. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you for participating and being a judge on the program tonight. And let me welcome also Baron Holland, who is the Senior Relations Manager at Bank of America. Welcome, Baron.
Good evening. Happy to be here.
Great to have you, and great to have you back. And Pam Rich Wheeler, Executive Director and Founder of the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise, is also here. Welcome.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
What a great way to conclude Women's History Month. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you so much for being here. And, as you know, we have a set of criteria by which we are asking you to evaluate all of the pitches you'll hear tonight. How well thought out is the business concept, plan, and strategy? Is the company's business model scalable? What is the company's growth trajectory? Do they have viable revenue streams? What do we project into the future in terms of their viability going forward? What is the company's impact on the community? That is very important to us here at WURD Radio. How can we have profitable businesses that also do positive things in the community? And how well do the contestants tell their story? And I would say lastly, will the WURD Grand Prize marketing package have a measurable impact on helping this business level up? That is kind of an additional factor to take into consideration. So what we'll do is pretty quickly, we're going to jump into hearing from our first contestant. They will make their pitch. You will get a moment to respond. And as you're hearing the pitch and responding, you will be calculating in your mind and maybe in your notes on your scorecard how you're rating them in each of those different areas of the criteria that I just listed. And we will take you through 5 pitches tonight from our 5 finalists, and we're very excited to get that started. Are we ready, Kayla J, to bring in our first contestant to make their pitch? All right. So we're first going to hear from Ebony Dukes of Black Oak Tasting. So we'll wait for Ebony to come in. Oh, there she is.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Ebony. Welcome to the Level Up Contest 2023. We're very excited that you are a finalist, and we would love to hear your pitch. You will have 3 minutes. I will be timing you, and I will let you know when that time is up. And I'll start when you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Ebony Dukes. I am the co-founder of the Black Oak Wine Club and co-owner of the Black Oak Tasting Room. Black Oak is a brand that was created in order to highlight other Black-owned wine brands while educating general consumers on the different nuances and characteristics of identifying a fine wine. So we do that through educational events. We curate educational events for general consumers. These events range from private wine tastings to full-out festivals and conferences. And we make it our business to make sure we are always highlighting a Black-owned brand so that people can get familiar with them and understand exactly who these brands are so that they have an opportunity to support them. So through our platform, we have multiple different ways that we monetize our platform. We have our private tasting events or our general admission tasting events. We host them weekly at our tasting room. They are on Friday and Saturday evenings. And anyone who is interested in coming can come to those tastings where we teach about fine wines. We teach about spirit brands, cognacs, brandies, whiskeys, and anything related to alcohol and spirits. And then we have full-on festivals like one we had last week, where we invite all of the brands that we love and we want to highlight. We invite them all in for an opportunity to get in front of our audience. So we've been able to grow our subscriptions and audience to an audience of over 8,000 people. And we are able to tap into them at any given moment and offer these brands opportunities to pitch themselves or to reach our customer base. Through these events, we're able to educate general consumers on exactly how to appreciate a fine wine. And because of that, they spend a little bit more money on the wines that they are choosing, and that helps them reach the Black-owned brands that are inside of this wine industry. The wine industry boasts over $635 billion, billion with a B, dollars in sales for the 2022 year. And of that, only 0.01% are people of color, so as professionals. So our goal is always to make sure that we are expanding that industry, expanding our footprint as professionals in that industry, and making more people feel engaged and empowered with the information that they have about the wine industry. So not only do they drink responsibly, but also so that they can open up that gateway to other opportunities that come through wine. Because there's agricultural opportunities, there are opportunities as far as service industry is concerned, and there's just so many more things that can happen.
All right,
us,
that's your time.
Okay.
Started. Time flies.
Yes, it does.
But you gave us you painted a really good picture of your business and what you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Sure. So I want to give the judges a chance to respond. And judges, tell us what you thought of this pitch. What do you think of this business? Anybody want to start?
Go
ahead.
Ebony, great job.
Thank you.
We're at 8,000 subscribers. That's pretty impressive. So congratulations to you. I have a question. So I did hear the business to consumer model with the 8,000 subscribers. I did not understand quite the business to business model where you said you're working with the brands. What is the model, the revenue model there?
We don't have a revenue model. We created this platform in order for those brands to have access to the audience that we are building. So we do not charge anything for the Black-owned wine brands. As in any industry that people of color go into, a lot of times we go in with handicaps, and one of those biggest ones are capital in order to have dollars to put towards marketing. So we wanted to help to be that marketing arm for those brands. So there is no cost for engaging with us as a platform, as a Black-owned wine brand.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Baron or Pam?
I'll let Pam go.
Ebony, I noticed or that you shared that sometimes it's difficult in trying to share with people the wine experience, but at the same time, you're also trying to expand to another location. So what have you seen to be working for you in order to share that story to pull in interested or potential target clients?
So
what strategies in other words, what strategies have you seen to be successful thus far?
So our biggest successes come with our festivals and large scale events, because we bring in audiences that just want to go and have a great time, and then they realize that there's much more to wine than just having a good time once they're at these events. Because we also incorporate activations and places to learn inside of our festivals. So even just this past weekend, the festival that we had little breakout rooms inside of the festival where you could come and learn different things you didn't know about red wine, or you could learn how to determine what your own palate desires. And those rooms were filled the entire time. So they don't realize they like to engage until we show them.
Okay.
Baron, we have just about 40 seconds. Can you, if you have a question or a comment, go right ahead.
So really quickly, love the energy, Ebony. Love the fact that, you created an organization that highlights a Black-owned business that highlights other Black-owned businesses, and then also develops a lot of education around the industry. I did not know that, we were such a small percentage of the wine space. And I think it's important because when you do go into any wine and spirit store and you see the endless rows and rows of bottles of wine, a lot of times you want to be intentional about where you're making your purchase and placing your dollars. But I see it in the background, but you don't know, right? You don't know what's Black-owned and what's not. So, very, very, I think very helpful business.
Yeah. And we create this Black-owned wine wall, and we make sure that we give pictures and visuals on our social media platforms to showcase the different Black-owned wines that people should be engaging with. And we do tell them which ones they can get locally as well.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Ebony
Thank
Dukes,
you.
for pitching Black Oak Tasting. It's a wonderful business and a wonderful business name, I might add.
Thank you.
And you went first, and going first is not easy, but you did a great job. So
Thanks.
stick around, and we'll be hearing from the rest of our contestants. And at the end, we will be selecting our winner. So you are listening to the 2023 Level Up Contest on WURD Radio. We'll be right back after this message.
For more than a decade, Comcast has been committed to bridging the digital divide in Philadelphia and across the country. From connecting people to the internet to opening doors for the next generation of innovators, entrepreneurs, and storytellers, they are helping to create a future that benefits generations to come. Now, Comcast is expanding their efforts through Project Up, their comprehensive initiative to help build a future of unlimited possibilities. Backed by a $1 billion commitment to reach tens of millions of people over the next decade, Comcast is working to ensure all Philadelphians have the skills, resources, and opportunities they need to participate and excel in an increasingly digital world. This includes partnering with community experts to build a network of digital navigators, trusted individuals who help build awareness around initiatives like the government's Affordable Connectivity Program and teach critical digital skills to get more people online. Project Up, building a future of unlimited possibilities. Learn more at comcast.com/Project Up. Through Project Up, Comcast is committing $1 billion to build a future of unlimited possibilities.
Did you know Henry Ossawa Tanner, the first internationally known African-American painter, lived and studied right here in Philadelphia? As the first black student admitted to the prestigious Pennsylvania Academy of the Fine Arts, Tanner broke barriers with his innovative moving paintings and influenced generations of artists around the world. To find out more about the efforts to preserve his legacy and North Philadelphia childhood home, visit thetannerhouse.org, a message from the Friends of the Tanner House.
What are you waiting for? If you've been enjoying the information and interviews WURD provides every day, or come out to our community events, it might be time to become a member. This year marks the 20th anniversary of WURD, and there's no better time to join the Forward movement. Sign up or renew your sustaining membership at just $90, or your digital membership for just $5 a month. Join online at wordradio.com/membership, or pick up the phone and give us a call at 215-425-7875. Press 4 for assistance. The time to join is now.
What am I waiting
for? You're listening to WURD Radio.
96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media, bringing joy and power to the people for 20 years.
our judges.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So we are hearing some very innovative, interesting ideas with these businesses. And for those of you just joining us in our listening audience, you are listening to Amadi Braxton, Solutions on WURD hosting the 2023 Level Up Contest Pitch Party. We have heard from 2 of our contestants so far. We have 3 more to go. And at the end of this broadcast, we will be announcing our winner. And we are, just to remind listeners what the criteria that the contestants are being evaluated on: business concept, how well thought out is the business concept, plan, and strategy, whether the business model is scalable, what is the growth trajectory, are there viable revenue streams for this business, and what are we predicting can happen in the future with this business? Is there a community impact? And in addition, how well was the story told through this pitch? And of course, we are all about supporting women entrepreneurs. It is the last day of Women's History Month, and we're very happy to have our contestants here. Now we're getting ready to go to our next break, and I believe, Carissa, is it possible for you to pick to go back into the room yourself, or do we have to put you in there? Do you see something on your screen taking you back to?
No, I don't.
Okay, maybe Kayla can help you with that, getting you back, putting you back in. And okay, there we go. So we are about to go to a commercial break, but as I was saying, very innovative ideas so far. Anything standing out to you, judges, from what you've heard so far in our first 2 contestants?
Well, I definitely think that it's great, as Barron was saying earlier, that we have businesses that are really looking to industries that will be needed in the future and expanding and growing. We just had to make sure that where we decide to enter into the industry, that there will be that opportunity to have, be the supplier. Because a number of the dealerships will be supplying EV stations. You see some of them already hooked up to some of the commercial locations. So it's still such a new industry. But the fact that we have a woman of color who is exploring it and doing her research now, hopeful that she can position herself well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And just to add to that, there's a woman in Detroit who's positioned herself really well in that industry. She has over 130 employees, and she's worked really closely with the SBA on funding for that. So would love to work with Carissa on making sure that she's connected to the resources so she's able to position herself in this region.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because some businesses are more capital intensive than others in the early phase, and this certainly seems like one that would be more capital intensive in terms of the resources, the financial resources needed.
Yeah, the only other thing that I would add is, with Ebony being a sommelier, I would assume if there are not a lot of blacks in wine, there are probably not a lot of sommeliers in wine. So, both Ebony and Carissa are both sort of trailblazers and entering industries where there's not a lot of minority participation, so a tremendous amount of upside for both of these entrepreneurs.
Yes, excellent point. All right, well, we're up on our next commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be hearing from Chartel Findlater, who is our 3rd contestant who will be pitching to our wonderful panel of judges. You are listening to the 2023 Level Up Contest on WURD Radio at 900 AM, 96.1 FM, streaming on WURD TV via Twitch and via Facebook Live at 4WURD, and on our app. This is Amadi Braxton. We'll be right back.
At Pico, we're here to make sure life at home is safe and comfortable, even during winter weather. That's why we want you to know all about LIHEAP, the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program. With LIHEAP, you can get a cash grant up to $1,000 to help pay your Pico energy bills, with no need to pay back the grant. Learn more and see if you qualify at pico.com/LIHEAP or call 1-800-34-HELP4.
Calling all WURD members. You have an opportunity to join us for Black Theater Night at the Philadelphia Theater Company's production of Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill. This production features vocalist Lauren Talese as Lady Day and directed by Jeffrey Page. Immediately following the performance, stick around for an intimate conversation about the production between Miss Talese and I, Tiffany Bacon. Join us for an evening of jazz and theater, Thursday, April 6th at 7 p.m. Tickets are limited, so join or renew your 4WURD membership today for your chance to attend this special event by going to wurdradio.com/membership or calling 215-425-7875 and press option 4. Further details will be sent via email for members only. That's Black Theater Night at the Philadelphia Theater Company's production of Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, Thursday, April 6th at 7 p.m. Remember, membership has its privileges.
Them that's got shall get. Them that's not shall lose.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. Center in the Park, Philadelphia is hiring a long-term care ombudsman, a director of social services and housing, and a housing counselor. The Neighborhood Progress Fund of Philadelphia is hiring a small business advisor, and the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Philadelphia is hiring an economic competitiveness administrator. For more information on these jobs and many others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative. Brought to you by WURD Radio, progressive, Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio.
96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media, bringing joy and power to the people for 20 years.
Welcome back to the 2023 WURD Level Up Contest and Pitch Party. I am your host, Amadi Braxton, and I am here along with a wonderful panel of judges. Regina Hairston, President and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Baron Holland, Senior Relationship Manager at Bank of America. And Pam Rich Wheeler, Executive Director and Founder of the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise. Thank you, judges, for being here. We've heard so far 2 pitches from 2 of our 5 contestants, and we are moving on shortly to our 3rd contestant who will be pitching their business idea. Now, before we hear from them, I just want to remind our listeners that the winner will be announced at the end of this broadcast, and they will receive a grand prize of a package worth over $5,000 of radio advertising, an on-air interview with Solomon Jones, as well as our partners in Chicago and Los Angeles, WVON and KJLH radio stations, social media outreach on all WURD radio platforms, and complimentary memberships to the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce, complimentary membership to the African American Chamber of Commerce, 2-hour coaching session with the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise, and much more than that. So we're very delighted that we'll be able to offer that to our grand prize winner. And now we have our 3rd contestant here with us, Chartel Finlater. Is that how you pronounce your name?
You pronounced it perfectly.
Okay, great. Well, welcome. And you are with Gold and Water.
Yes.
Okay, so you'll have 3 minutes to make your pitch. I will be timing you, and I'll let you know when your time is up. And I will start timing when you start speaking. Go right ahead.
All right, awesome. Good evening. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Chartel Finlater. I call myself the maker-in-chief of Gold and Water Co. So we create handcrafted soap, bath, and body products that are designed to remind you that you are the luxury. So I started this company back in 2018, really following a really difficult time in my life. I had endured a situation with domestic abuse, and where I found respite, where I found solace and care was just being mindful of how I was treating myself. I realized in hindsight that I was using the bathroom as a place of escape. And so really at that time is when I decided that if I could offer someone else a chance to escape their circumstances, regardless of what that looked like, whether they was extreme as what I was going through or something a little lighter, I wanted them to have the opportunity to just treat themselves well. So we're an online-only boutique soapery based here in Philadelphia. We do pop-ups throughout the year at various retailers, festivals like the Flower Show, Christmas Village, etc. So we really get a chance to be hands-on as we need to be, but the model is really an online experience. We have retail partnerships in the city of Philadelphia, throughout the U.S., and in Canada. So those are wholesale partnerships. In other small businesses, the Philadelphia Art Museum, and things of that nature. And it's very important to me, because of how the company started, that we partner with organizations that talk about hygiene awareness, that talk about bullying prevention, abuse prevention, violence prevention. So we get to partner with local organizations, and we'll take in interns that will come and work in our studio. I've done some speaking and other ways of just being connected with organizations that are doing the hard work of more than just self-care. They're reaching out to the community, and they have their boots on the ground. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. So, judges, what do you think? Thoughts, questions for Shartel?
All right, so I'll jump in. Shartel, first of all, thank you for sharing your story. That really resonates and helped to highlight the why behind Golden Water. So thank you for that. Your website was amazing. You know, when I visited it, I'm going to be very honest, I just felt like this calming feeling that came over me as I was reviewing your product set. So really nice job there and on the presentation of your product. The question that I have is, many times artisans, those who are in that bespoke world, as they try to scale, sometimes they lose what makes them special and differentiates them from other products. So what is your plan as you try to scale to continue to retain that uniqueness?
Yeah, that's something that I think a lot about. So there are some smaller details, like, for example, in every soap bar, I stamp a gold logo. That's something that I would want to retain. But the way that I can scale is really through the manufacturing process. So having larger vessels to pour different products and get still some of those unique designs, the swirls, just those are the things that make the artisan soap what it is. There are things that I know as I make a bigger batch, I may not be able to retain. So one thing people notice is that at the top of my bars of soap, there's a texture. And that all has to do with just the way that I'm cutting the bars. So that might be something that I'm willing to compromise on in order to produce 500 bars at a time, as opposed to 200 to 300 at a time. But really, it is a matter of having the resources to have vessels that hold the amount of product I want to make at one time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Clearly something that you've thought about. Pam or Regina, you want to?
Sure. First of all, very powerful story. Very, very important for us to focus on self-care. And like you said, the bathroom can be that place that people retreat to, but it can also become that place where people become inspired. Yeah. I know that my son, for instance, has a little statement on his mirror saying, "A legend lives here." So you can really inspire yourself, and then it just adds to it when you're able to take a nice warm bath or soak or use those products that make you feel relaxing. And awesome partnerships that you mentioned here and as far as Canada. In terms of, I guess, just what Baron was saying earlier about making the product now. Where are you currently making the product? Because it's really exciting to the business center, because we're actually working on a small batch manufacturing center for beauty products. So
I love that. That's awesome. So I started off in my basement and I moved to my kitchen. Actually, it was the other way. I started in my kitchen and then moved to a basement. But now I have a studio. So it's just a workshop that's dedicated solely to me creating the product. And for example, with soap, I need shelves to cure it. So there's curing shelves there. And then I have an area where I ship off the products as orders come in direct to consumer.
Okay, so you have a way of doing quality control as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm in the Kensington section of Philly, and it's just a loft studio that's private. It's not open to the public.
Okay.
All right. And Judge Regina, thoughts?
Yeah, I'll just absolutely thoughts. I'll just echo what Baron said. I went to the website and I thought, oh my goodness, this is absolutely gorgeous. It felt serene. It felt luxury. It felt like a boutique. So as you start thinking about, you're welcome. As you start thinking about scaling, I always ask businesses, who do you want to be when you grow up? Because all businesses don't want to sell, hundreds of thousands of units of products. Some businesses want to remain a boutique, and that's fine too. So I just think that you should keep that in mind. Who do you want to be? How do you want to grow? And how fast do you want to grow? Because you will probably start to lose some of that very uniqueness that you currently bring. And you said you're in Canada? So you're exporting products to Canada?
I do have products in Canada, yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're exporting them?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
That's impressive. That's okay. That's impressive.
So it is a wholesale partnership with small businesses. So it's on a smaller scale that I'm doing that. Of course, I would love to grow it, but it's pretty independent.
But you are looking to scale it.
Yes.
Wonderful.
And I know exactly who I want to be.
Why don't you tell us?
Who do you want to be? Tell us, yes.
Tell us.
I really admire a company called PF Candle Co. They're based out in California. And so they do have some partnerships with larger retailers, but they retain those things that matter to them the most in terms of how they package, how they present their products.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Chartel. Good luck to you. If you could go back into your breakout room while we deliberate more.
All right.
And we're getting a range of different businesses here so far. That was our third pitcher, Chartel Finlater with Gold and Water Co. And after our next break, we will be coming back to hear our fourth pitch from Khadijah Ford of Sugar Lux. Any final thoughts before we head off to our commercial break from you in terms of what you've heard so far?
I would say the fact that the last contestant mentioned a model, I would just say it's very important to have a model when you're developing your company, because you've looked at this and it's proven that it's worked. So that's very important that she mentioned that. I thought that was good.
Wonderful.
And just to add to that, the level of detail associated with the business, it's very important as you're growing and scaling the business to pay attention to those things, because so often you're the chief cook and bottle washer and you're doing everything. And as you're trying to do that, it opens up the door for things to get missed or to not pay attention to the details. So at least from the surface and from the presentation, it looks like she does a very good job at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she had definitely thought about your question, before you even asked it, about what are the things that she might be willing to compromise on if she were to scale up. And she was very detailed about that. So I was impressed by that. All right. You have been listening to the 2023 Level Up Contest Pitch Party here on WURD Radio. This is Amadi Braxton, your host, and we will be back with our next contestant after these messages.
Nowadays, you have a lot on your to-do list, but sometimes you may be overlooking one of the most important items on your list, your health. Today is the day you start prioritizing you. Be sure to schedule your appointments or address those aches and pains you've been ignoring. Put your health on the top of your next checklist, because the steps you take today are your first steps to a healthier tomorrow. Don't delay your care. Call Jefferson Health at 1-800-JEFF-NOW or visit jeffersonhealth.org/to-do.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
This is not a fad for us.
We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are
undeniably,
indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media.
WURD.
We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk media. Streaming online at WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Welcome back to the 2023 Level Up Pitch Party here on WURD Radio. I'm Amani Braxton, your host, along with our wonderful judges, Regina Hairston, Baron Holland, and Pamela Rich Wheeler. And we are going to be hearing from our next contestant, Khadija Ford of Sugarlux will be joining us momentarily and giving her pitch about her business. And again, I'll remind folks that we are evaluating these businesses on business concept, scalable model, growth trajectory, and community focus and storytelling. Hi, Khadija Ford.
Hello, how are you?
Doing great. Welcome to the 2023 Level Up Pitch Party. And you are going to be pitching your business, Sugarlux.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, you'll have 3 minutes. I'm going to time you as soon as you start speaking, and I'll let you know when your time is up.
Okay. Good evening, panelists. My name's Khadija Ford. I'm the owner and designer at Sugarlux. Sugarlux is an online confectionery boutique, and we specialize in custom cookies and other edible gifts and treats. We work with direct to consumer. We work with event planners, PR companies, and corporate brands that want to get their brand and logo out there. Our mission is to elevate events. So we started out in just being a part of people's personal events, scaling up their desserts with custom cookies. But we work with companies where they are offering different promotional items, swag for their company events or to their clients as thank you gifts. We can create any logo on a cookie and hand it out. And companies give away swag all the time. And usually it's just like a pen or a keychain or something that's going to end up under the seat of your car or in the trash. But if they're giving out a cookie, the customers are going to eat the cookie, they'll enjoy the cookie, and then they'll remember the company for giving them that. And then they'll want to know, where did this cookie come from? And that's where I come in. Our cookies are really unique, very detailed, and our customers know our cookies when they see them. I have people that attend events and reach out to us because they saw their cookie somewhere and they're like, I know that was your cookie. How do I get these cookies? So we advertise via social media. and through email blasts, because we have our network through customers that sign up for our newsletters. And we also through old-fashioned word of mouth. We offer, besides the custom cookies, we offer different gifts for the holiday seasons or different holidays that pop up, like Nurses Appreciation, Teacher Appreciation, Mother's Day, Father's Day, and things like that. We also do classes and parties. We recently had a class for children at the Literacy Center in West Philadelphia. And we had 15 kids come out and make cookies that look like a burger. And we had a great time. So people can schedule private parties, or they can come to an in-person event where we sell tickets and they attend that way. We also create DIY boxes of cookies that we send out with the instructions, all the ingredients, and they can have a party at home with their friends and decorate the cookies themselves. For those, people will place a pre-order, which they do with all of our custom orders. Everything is pre-ordered. There's no in-store come in and pick up because we're an online confectionery. In addition to the custom cookies in the DIY boxes, we are trying to expand into ready-made cookies that are a little less detailed, that people don't need as much lead time to place orders for. If you just have someone's birthday coming up and you just want a couple of cookies that you need in the next 5 days, then you can do that and we can ship them right to you.
All right, and your time is up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So stay here for a moment, and we want to hear from the judges. Any thoughts or questions for Khadijah Ford?
Sure, I'll go. Khadijah, I believe I've had your cookies years ago. And they are very unique in the design. So it sounds like you've grown since the last time I ordered. So what are you looking to do as far as space? And how many employees do you currently have? Or is this something that you're doing by yourself?
So currently I'm doing this by myself. In 2019, I rebranded and had to start from scratch kind of. And so I'm working by myself, but in 2022, we doubled the sales from 2021 and just the growth back from rebranding to just cookies. And we're currently at 8% above where we were last year, which is good. And I want to hire someone so that we can open up the availability and expand with the new products. So with hiring someone else, that'll give me more time and more freedom to explore more options in that sense.
Okay. And where are you currently? I'm sorry, the space.
No, go ahead.
We don't have a physical space. I use a commercial kitchen that is a rental availability that's shared with other bakers and like catering. But I'm looking to build out and have my own license within my home because it's hard for someone that does what I do because cookies take a long time and you can't just leave them, in a space that's shared. So if I can build out in my home and have the licensing that way, which Pennsylvania does offer, that will open up a lot of things for me as well.
All right. Anyone else?
Khadijah, I love the community involvement. I like that vibe of getting other people involved and creating that community. And you said you're currently selling your cookies online.
Yes.
So what are the other ways that someone else learns about your product?
Okay. I do a lot of pop-ups in different spaces within the city. Before Williams-Sonoma closed down in Center City, I did pop-ups there and in Suburban Square and different festivals that we have a lot of festivals in Philadelphia throughout the summer. And when time allows it, I pop up there. And then just the events that we schedule. Right now I have over 10,000 followers. So the information gets out there and people find out about me, and I'll not even know who they are. And they're like, I heard about you from so-and-so. So it's been working out well that way.
That sounds like you have a strong social media presence. And you mentioned that you want to hire somebody. How would that contribute to your growth strategy? And that's my last question.
Okay. Thank you for that. That's a good question. I would like to hire a support person because a lot of the things that I do, I don't necessarily have to do. If I had someone that was doing the baking for me, cutting the cookies, and just having everything prepped for me, and I can come in and do my thing with the details, that would free up so much time to put out so many more cookies per week. Right now, the max that I can handle myself is 12 dozen cookies. That doesn't mean that I haven't done more than that, because sometimes you have an order that comes in and you just have to take it and we get it done. But if I had a support person, that would free up that time for me to expand the availability.
All right.
Well, Khadijah, thank you for your presentation. I just want to say you are extremely talented. When I looked at your social media, I was blown away. The ones that stood out to me were 52nd Street, the Ghostbusters, and the cookout one. I could not believe the level of detail there. So really well.
Thank
well
you so
done.
much.
And I love the way you presented your business as I believe, you said confectionery boutique. You're sort of elevating, you didn't say, well, I'm a baker or I'm a cookie maker. I mean, you're sort of elevating what you're doing, so your product matches, how you're presenting yourself to the world. So I thought that was awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So sort of along Pam's question, my thought was, like, you're doing everything and it's clear that you're a talented artist. But my question was very similar, like, how do you scale knowing that pretty much today you have to touch every single cookie before it goes out the door, right? To put your kind of special touch on it. So I don't know if you know the answer to that or not, and maybe you do, but my question is, how do you continue to grow the business knowing that you have to touch every single piece of product?
Okay. Right now I do, but for future training, the basic steps are very simple, and anybody that has any kind of baking background can do them. I have taught family members when I've gotten into a bind how to make my dough, how to cut cookies. I also have other friends in the industry that if I give a call, they're like, what do you need? And I can have people come in and bake for me while I just add the details. The base of the cookie is the foundation, and once that's down, then all of my details can go on with ease. And even if I had one support person, that would free up so much for me to scale, especially to wanting to open up those ready-made cookie options for people, and also that will give me an availability for people at a lower price point, because my cookies are really detailed. They are expensive, but there's some people that would like to have an opportunity to have those cookies too and not spend the same amount of money and still get the same quality. So if they're getting a pre-made set that's maybe 3 cookies for a lower price point, it still has the same impact and, satisfy them wanting that luxury item.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Khadijah Ford from Sugar Lux.
Thank you for having me.
We'll ask that you go back into the breakout room that you came out of, and we will continue on with our next contestant.
Okay. I don't know how to do that.
Is there a participants button on the bottom of your screen, or a breakouts? Is there breakouts?
Yep. I see it. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And next we'll be hearing from Christine Ellie with Woombish. Time is flying by. This is our 5th and final contestant now. Christine. We'll be waiting for Christine to enter our space here momentarily. And I'm just really inspired, I have to say, by the range of people and the wonderful care and the creativity of the different contestants. Hello, Christine. Make sure that you're not muted and that we can hear you.
Hi, how are you?
Okay. How do you pronounce your last name?
My last name is Ely.
Ely. Okay. Christine Ely with Woombish. So welcome to the 2023 Level Up contest. And you'll be given 3 minutes to give your pitch to our panel of judges here to tell us about your business. So as soon as you are ready to begin, you may.
Yes, most definitely. Well, I do want to thank you all for having me here and just for me to be able to experience this along with the other individuals who are around. My company is Womb Intensive Systematic Holistic Care. It's Woomish for short. We focus on empowering women to journey through their pregnancy with confidence. We know in the city of Philadelphia, women of color are up against so much. It's such for some, they view it as dangerous to give birth. So many women are afraid to give birth because they know that they are not properly educated, they're not informed, they don't have the advocacy that they need. So with Woomish, we focused on two things, advocacy and education. But we know with whatever we do in life, in order to properly advocate, we must first educate. So we focus heavily on providing women and their support team with all of the education that they need in order to birth with total confidence, regardless of the style of birth. So it could be natural, unmedicated, it could be medicated, it could be a belly birth, which is a cesarean section. But regardless of the style of birth, they are educated, meaning that they can advocate for themselves first. And then in addition, they also have the support from their doula. My company is very unique. It was founded in 2019 after I gave birth to my third son. With knowing that I was up against so much myself personally, I was told that I was not able to give birth naturally because he was measuring big, but I did it 9 pounds, 12 ounces, and 22 inches later. I had no issues or complications. And so I wanted to create this company to empower other women. As it stands right now, there are 13 other doulas on my team. We provide education classes, we provide wellness classes, we provide birth and postpartum doula support. And as we scale our business, we're also focusing on not just Philadelphia and the surrounding areas, but how can we leverage this following that we have throughout social media? So we've created the same system in place, but virtually. So to date, our farthest client that we serviced is in France. We've virtually supported her throughout her birth process, and we mimic those same services. We provide virtual birth and postpartum services, as well as education classes and the support that moms and families need. Overall, we know that we're serving the community because we're reducing maternal mortality rates, we're empowering women and their support team, and as a whole, within the Black and Brown community, if it starts at birth, and women are having positive birth outcomes, we know that they are able to serve their family better, their babies are being raised better, and it just, in turn, it strengthens our community.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christine Ely with Woombish. Let's hear from our judges. What do you think? Do you have any questions for Christine?
So clearly, I know the least about this topic of everyone on, but I'll go ahead and go first, although I do have 3 daughters. So Christine, really powerful words that you started with. You talked about advocacy, education, empowerment, all things that I think are critically important, specifically when you look at the history in relation to African-American women in the medical space. Historically in this country. So, the work that you're doing is needed. One question that I had was, as you're doing this work, are you, how should I phrase this, or have you been able to measure the impact that you've had on new mothers who maybe were not going to breastfeed and then made the decision to breastfeed based upon your counseling and sort of education around the benefits of that? And what sort of impact is that having?
Yes, most definitely. That's a great question. A lot of people just focus on birth. A lot of doulas, they focus just on birth and that's it. But with my company, we focus on birth, postpartum, and we do focus on lactation as well. So going back to what our motto is, we can't advocate without educating. We have a breastfeeding education class that is mandatory for all of our clients. They have to take breastfeeding ed. And then after they give birth, we are on site providing immediate lactation support. We know that first hour of lactation is golden. It's called the golden hour. And so if babies are not latching on to a mother's breast within that first hour, the body naturally goes into this process called FIL. Thus, it's telling the body, hey, we don't need to lactate. So with it, because we have on-site doula support when a mother gives birth, all of our mothers have success with breastfeeding. There are only a few moms who have difficulty, and those are the ones who have had, they have medical conditions as to why they cannot breastfeed. Now, how long they breastfeed, that's another story. But on average, most of our moms are breastfeeding up until the 12-month mark, which is amazing.
Great. Thank you.
Wonderful.
You're welcome.
So I'll just, you're doing important work. This is really important work. When we look at the numbers of how many Black women died during childbirth, as opposed to other groups, the rate is high. I think it's something like over 3 times more. And so the work that you're doing is extremely important. So I commend you for doing that. I'm going to turn to the business side of this for a moment and look at the numbers as far as revenue and how you scale up. So are you self-pay? Is it self-pay? Do you have insurance pay, or is it a hybrid of the both?
Right now, it's just self-pay. The state of Pennsylvania, well, actually the entire United States, they're in the process of being able to cover doula care through insurance, through government insurance. But right now in the state of Pennsylvania, that has not been approved yet. So we are self-pay. Our rates are very competitive. And because they are competitive, our clients are able to make monthly payments leading up to their due date and sometimes even beyond. So we make it very, very accommodating for our clients. With the amount of services that we offer, birth and postpartum services, as well as education and lactation for $2,500, no one will be able to find that anywhere else. One of the challenges I will say is that we want to help all families. We really do. And so there are, especially in the city of Philadelphia, so many families that even for $2,500, making monthly payments, it's just not affordable to them. So we have some moms that they cannot afford full doula services, but they can afford education classes. They can take an education class that's only $40. And if they're really having financial issues, then we hold quarterly a free class for the entire community. So somehow there is a family that's able to benefit from these services.
And I have just one last question, if I may. Is there a doula coalition in the state of Pennsylvania that's advocating at the state level for this funding?
There is a doula coalition for the state of Pennsylvania, yes. And as it stands right now, the state of Pennsylvania is they're in the preliminary phase. It's a negotiation phase, and hopefully it's able to clear. But for the state of Pennsylvania, we have to prove that we have enough doulas to cover all of PA. And Pennsylvania is a large state. So that's what all of the doulas are currently trying to figure out. How can we prove that we can cover all of PA?
Wonderful. Pamela, any questions or comments?
Well, being a mother of 2, I can definitely say there's a need for the service, without a doubt. And Christine, my question for you is, you mentioned that you do want to expand to other cities and states, which I think it would be awesome. So what would be your strategy to do that?
So right now, that's a great question. We provide, and this is what I didn't mention, but it is very important. We provide birth and postpartum doula training and certification through my company. There are not many Black companies that offer doula training and certification. With that, this year was our first year that we had we had 2 students that were out of state. So we had one that was from Colorado, one that was from Harrisburg, and she just signed on, and she's now a doula with my company. So that's one of my strategies. We are able to provide these doula trainings in person as well as virtually, and a lot of people are catching on because women of color, they're now knowing, like, hey, you know, it's important to become a doula, but we'll take it one step further. We actually need to be educated by a company that looks like us, that speaks our language, and that knows how to support my people. So I do believe that as we expand, that doula training is going to help. We just have about 30 seconds before we have to go. So one of the things that I do want to do is I would love to just put it out there that we are hiring for doulas in other states, but I just have to figure out the logistics because our doulas are trained very heavily. I don't want to shortchange anyone on my team.
All right. Thank you so much, Christine Ely.
Thank you.
Roombish. And if you could go back into your breakout room, and you're listening to the Level Up contest for 2023 on WURD Radio. This is Amadi Braxton, your host, and we'll be right back after this message.
Hi, it's me, Gia Peppers. Tune in to More Than That live on radio this weekend or wherever you listen to podcasts. On our season finale, I'm talking to TV host and author Mike Hill and therapist and content creator Keir Gaines about Black men's mental health and ways to facilitate healing for the men in our community. This episode of More Than That is brought to you by Chevrolet. Head to change.newsone.com to learn how they're facilitating candid conversations that drive real change.
There's this belief that, by the motif of a Black man is to be this courageous, fearless, decisive leader all the time, but that's not true to anybody's human experience all the time. It's hard to imagine for a lot of Black men to imagine needing permission to be vulnerable, but that's what I do. I give you permission. That means I'm centering men's needs, not so much you being in therapy because I want you to be a better father, not because I need you to be a better husband, not because I need you to be a better employee or all the things that you be. I want you in therapy so you can be better for you.
I've always been raised like, okay, you're going through something, don't cry, man up, don't tell people about your feelings. These are all these traumas that we grow up with as a kid and even as an adult that you've learned to suppress for so many years. But eventually, all that is going to boil over and come to a point where you got to release it. And once I released it, I let it go and I felt lighter. What mental health and what therapy does is tell you the reasons why. You continue to man up and you continue to suppress everything that's affecting you on the inside, pretty soon it's going to be man down. And that's not where we want to be. So man up and do the right thing when it comes to your mental health.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See? That's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
In honor of our 20th anniversary, WURD presents a new podcast archiving our history and the history of our beloved city. Vintage Word, Season 1 is a weekly journey into the Word archives, reconnecting with classic shows and beloved hosts. Tune in this Sunday at 11 a.m. for a vintage episode of The Pursuit of Truth with Reggie Bryant. That's Vintage Word, this Sunday at 11 a.m. only on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
You're listening to WURD Radio.
96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media, bringing joy and power to the people for 20 years.
Welcome back to the 2023 Level Up Contest at WURD Radio. This is Amadi Braxton, your host. And we just got finished listening to all 5 of our contestants pitch their business to our panel of judges. And reminder, our judges are Regina Hairston, President and CEO of the African American Chamber of Commerce, Baron Holland, Senior Relationships Manager, Bank of America, Pamela Rich Wheeler, Executive Director and Founder of the Business Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise. And I'm going to just review with us who we heard from, because there were so many wonderful contestants. And I just want to remind us, I know that I was getting kind of absorbed in everybody's pitch and then forgetting, oh, wait, who did we start with? So I'm going to take us back to the beginning. First, we heard from Ebony Dukes with Black Oak Tasting Room. And this is a company that promotes wines and spirits that are Black owned. Then we heard from Bolts EV, Carissa Page, and this was a business that installs electric vehicle charging stations at home and in residential homes. Then we heard from Chartel Finlater with Gold and Water, who produces boutique soaps, and it's a wellness brand, kind of a bespoke wellness brand here in Philadelphia. And then we heard from Sugarlux and Khadijah Ford, which is an online custom cookie and gourmet confectionery boutique. And lastly, we heard from Christine Ely with Woombish, which is a intensive, systemic, holistic care birth servicing company offering education and wellness services for women for their birth process. And they also offer certification courses for birth educators and doulas. So judges have been tabulating their scores and submitting their scores, and so we'll wait to hear that final tabulation. But in the meantime, judges, what do you think, as you think back through the 5 contestants we heard from, tell me your impressions or inspiration or highlights from what you heard. I know that I was very inspired hearing from all of these contestants.
Very inspired by all of the contestants, but one thing that really stood out to me is something that we hear all the time at the African American Chamber of Commerce. Really, how do you scale your business in a way that is unique to your business? So listening to several of the contestants, this particular opportunity will do more for some than it will do for others. So I'm very interested to see who's going to win the competition, but they're all amazing. They're all amazing businesses.
Yeah. And I guess just to add to that, that was part of my focus was, is the strategy something that I would consider an income producing activity? Does the growth strategy make sense? Is it a good model? Is there a model? Is the expansion something that is manageable, realistic, achievable? And is it something that is viable and needed in our community?
And let me ask you a follow-up on that, Pam. When you said, is it income generating? We would have just assumed, of course, it's income generating. It's a business. Tell us a little bit more about what you mean by that.
So, one of the contestants said that she wanted to add somebody to her team, for instance. She could have said, I want that person to clean the floors. I want them, to do some filing. But she said she wanted that person to make more product. So to me, that's an income producing activity. If our contestants are going to, advertise, to me, that's an income producing activity because it's going to bring in more, create more awareness about their product or service, and therefore hopefully generate more income because they're advertising to their target market.
Mm-hmm. And, I had an entrepreneur on my regular show Solutions several months back, and he has a great product, and he was and he said he regularly sells out of his product. But his challenge was that it was hard for him to really start to generate the kind of profit that he would like to see, because he was like, he only had the capacity to make enough, to sell enough to cover the expenses for the cost of the materials and manufacturing. And so it was a constant, I guess, break even. Yes, he was making enough to buy new supplies and materials and do the manufacturing and feed his family, but he wanted to really be able to scale up. And that was, that's one of the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs are facing.
And that it is very important. The pricing is a very important part of the whole marketing mix, which, you have to hone in on. We had a client who had a hair product, and she said, well, I'll just charge 50% of what it costs to make. And by the time we analyzed her customers and who she was competing against, her competition, she was able to mark it up by 400%. So wow. A 2 ounce, to put it in, layman's terms, a 2 ounce hair product took, cost $7 to make. She was going to sell for $15, but it turns out she was able to sell it for $35.
Wow. Wow.
So it is important to do the market research, look who you're competing against, because you're in that market with them, and then go back to that target market, survey them with a focus group, which is what we did in this case, and see what they're willing to pay. And the number for her, it was the number of uses. With that 2 ounce product, it was a natural hair straightening product. They were able to get 70 uses out of it, though.
Wow. Wow. So I want to go to you too in a moment, Baron, but before I do, Pamela, you're talking about the kinds of work that you do at your center, which supports entrepreneurs. Just say a little bit more about what people who utilize your Center for Entrepreneurship and Social Enterprise might expect to be able to get out of working with you.
So if someone's coming with a concept, since we're talking about concepts this evening, then we can help them write the business plan and also determine if they should write a business plan. Let's start there. Take that first step and do your research and see if it's feasible, if it makes sense. So we can help with that. We can help with the loan packaging so that you are fully capitalized and you've taken into consideration all the costs in the startup phase and in the expansion phase. So we offer workshops, seminars, one-on-one coaching. And then we also have youth entrepreneurship training. Many of our youth have some wonderful ideas and things that supplement, what they're doing while they're in school, so they have their own cash and they can set their own goals. Because we say when you form your lips to say, I need money, then maybe you need to learn how to make some money and start saving some of it and then, giving towards that charity or faith-based organization in order to do that. Mm-hmm. So that's what we concentrate on. We're concentrating on educating, coaching, and also I would be remiss if I didn't say connecting to other resources through networking opportunities and just the resources that they might need in legal, marketing, and other areas to make sure that their business is set up properly and can do what we mentioned this evening, is to scale.
All right, great. All of those listening out there to know exactly what you all can do in support of entrepreneurship and business ownership. Let me go to you, Baron, and just first tell me any impressions that you're taking away from hearing the range of contestants we've heard from tonight, and then maybe say a little bit about what you do in your role at Bank of America in terms of supporting entrepreneurs.
Sure. So, it was clear that each entrepreneur had something special, right, about them and what they did and how they delivered their product out in the marketplace. And I think that was delivered differently by each entrepreneur, but at least from my perspective, it was received equally. I think the passion that they have about what they're doing was evident. And, some businesses are more scalable than others. They're at different points of time in their entrepreneurial journey. Some are a little further along than others. But I think, there's an opportunity to sort of, learn from each other. And I'm hoping that, there will be a winner, right? And someone will win the prize. But, I hope that these entrepreneurs at least connect with each other because they have some things in common, right? So, they're all women, they're all African-American women, and they're all in the greater Philadelphia area. So I think there can be some benefits to being able to stay connected, even though the industries are vastly different. There are key learnings that they can share and help each other as they continue in their entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking and supporting each other is so critical when you're branching out and taking this journey. Regina, I just want to quickly go to you and let us know and let the audience know what the African American Chamber of Commerce offers in terms of support for entrepreneurs.
Certainly. So first and foremost, we're an advocacy organization. We ensure that the cost of doing business and the ability to do business in the region is conducive to small Black businesses. We focus on those issues that matter to that particular population of businesses. We also advocate for opportunities in the marketplace. What does that mean? If you're looking to get into new markets, and you're having trouble getting there, we help open that door and make those introductions so you can do that. We serve as a highway. You get on the highway, we show you the on-ramps to, say, a Pam Willer, making sure that you're connected with her, making sure that if you need access to capital, we work with Barron and other institutions to understand what is the perfect business for them and what is the perfect bank for our businesses as far as products. So we connect them to those organizations. We provide networking opportunities so that they can meet other folks in their same space, or they can meet other folks that are going to help them do business so they can do business together. We curate information. We know that our businesses are spending their time doing the day-to-day operations of their business. So every Wednesday, we send out a newsletter that curates all of the resources and opportunities that are available to small businesses in the region. And we do information sessions and workshops. And then we have some great events like our 30th anniversary annual meeting that will be held in September. Last year, we had over 800 folks come to the Eagle Stadium, and we will be there again this year.
Oh, wow. That sounds very cool. All right. Well, we're up on our final break. Kayla J has informed me that we have a winner. She has tabulated the vote tallies, and on the other side of this break, we will announce the winner and bring our contestants back into the room so that they can hear, along with all of you listening out there. You are listening to the 2023 Level Up Contest Pitch Party with your host, Amadi Braxton, on WURD Radio. We'll be right back.
Hey Philly, let's keep everyone healthy so we can get back to doing what we love this summer. Going to barbecues, block parties, and other outdoor events. If you're feeling sick or were exposed to someone who has COVID-19, get tested to make sure you're safe. Testing is available for the whole family, ages 6 months and up, at no cost to you. Testing is provided by Personic Healthcare Monday through Saturday at the Apple Pavilion at St. Christopher's Hospital for Children. For details, visit covidphila.com or call 888-349-6980.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
This WURD public service announcement is a reminder that every voice and every vote counts. We are committed to keeping you informed, and we encourage you to participate in the process.
This is Charles Ellison, host of Reality Check on WURD. If you're a Philly resident who is already registered to vote or wants to register, where should you get more information on next steps? All Pennsylvania voters should visit votespa.com on how to register, key deadlines, and where to find your polling location. Philadelphia residents can also go to philadelphiavotes.com for more information and to reach the Philadelphia City Commissioner's office. Keep following us at OnWord on Twitter, Facebook.com/4Word, and hashtag WordOnPolitics for constant updates. And remember, vote early.
This PSA is a part of Every Voice, Every Vote, a collaborative project of the Lenfest Institute for Journalism, with lead support provided by the William Penn Foundation. Learn more at www.everyvoice-everyvote.org. Editorial content is created independently of the project's donors.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. Center in the Park, Philadelphia is hiring a long-term care ombudsman, a director of social services and housing, and a housing counselor. The Neighborhood Progress Fund of Philadelphia is hiring a small business advisor, and the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Philadelphia is hiring an economic competitiveness administrator. For more information on these jobs and many others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative. Brought to you by WURD Radio, progressive, black talk media.
You're listening to WURD Radio.
96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Progressive Black Talk Media, bringing joy and power to the people for 20 years.
Welcome back to the 2023 Level Up Contest here on WURD Radio. I'm your host, Amadi Braxton, along with our judges, Regina Hairston, Baron Holland, and Pamela Rich Wheeler. And we are back with all of our contestants who made their pitches tonight. Ebony Dukes from Black Oak Tasting, Carissa Page, Bolts EV, Chartel Finlater, Golden Water, Khadijah Ford, Sugar Lux, and Christine Ely Woombish. We want to thank all of you for applying to be a part of this, for making it into the final five, and for preparing your pitches, and for doing the work that you're doing every day to make your businesses, your very interesting, inspiring businesses to be successful. So we do have a winner, and unfortunately we only can have one winner. And I will announce that it is, just check, make sure. It is Chartel Finlater from Golden Water. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We are very happy to announce that. And I also want to say we had a couple of runner-ups. I'll just let you know who came in second and third. We have Christine Ely from Woombish came in second place. And in third place, Carissa Page with Bolts EV. So it was a close contest, but we can only have one winner. Let's hear from you, the winner, Chartel, about how you feel.
Honestly, I'm stunned. I got a chance to talk with these ladies, some of whom I was already familiar with their work. I'm honored. Thank you for allowing me to share about my business and to share space with each and every one of them. Each and every one of them is inspiring.
Well, congratulations. And what will winning this marketing prize do for you and help your business accomplish?
I'm excited for the connection. When you have a business like any one of us have, where you've kind of just used all of your own resources to build it, every bit of marketing, every bit of connection, every bit of community is helpful. And that's really what's allowed my business to grow. And so I look forward to utilizing the resources that you've given.
Well, I want to hear from some of the, I want to hear first from the judges about why you scored Chartel's business so high, her pitch.
Sure. So I'll go ahead and jump in.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all the finalists, and then congratulations to Chartel. So a couple of things that resonated with me, sort of the story about the reason that she decided to create the brand, and sort of the community impact that comes from sort of self-care, mental health, things of that nature. And then Chartel was able to very confidently, clearly, and directly communicate what direction she was going in. She was able to answer the questions that were posed to her in a way that communicated that she had already given it some thought, and she was maybe one or two steps ahead of where that question was. So those were the two or three things that resonated with me.
Mm.
And I just thought it was,
go ahead, Pam.
I thought it was great that she referenced a business model with the candle company. I think it's very important for a company to be able to look at a company and use it as a model and then put their own slant on it, but know that it has had some successes.
For me, it was the story, congratulations, and also the brand matches the product. The brand matches the product. I was able to go to the website and I could feel the product. I could tell that you've taken a lot of time to work on your branding, and I think that winning this opportunity will allow you to scale even more and to get the word out. So congratulations.
All right, wonderful. So I want to just say, even though there's only one winner, I would say we were all impressed, myself and the judges were all very impressed with all of you and what you're doing with your businesses. And, if we had many more resources, we would give everyone a package. But I want to just hear from you as participants in this process. What has it been like for you all to come on here, to first apply to be a part of this, and then to make it into the final 5, and then to be sitting in the background in your breakout room during this whole program tonight, talking to each other and getting to know each other? What has that experience been like? Anybody can jump in.
Yes, this is Carissa Page. These women are amazing. I was very impressed with all of them, and we did connect. So we were able to exchange our information to keep a bond and inspire each other throughout this, because we're all in the same boat, right? We're all African American women going through the same type of struggle to make sure that we get the word out for our products. So I encourage these women to stay focused, and I'm very, very pleased to meet them all.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll just second what Carissa said. We had a great time in the breakout rooms, being able to share each other's stories and being able to offer advice. We all face, even though we're all in different industries, we're all facing similar challenges with just being Black female business owners. And it's great to be able to form a community where we'll be able to assist each other moving forward. So it was a great opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And that was Ebony Dukes from Black Oak Tasting speaking there. Anyone else want to talk about this experience, what it's been like? Were you nervous to make your pitch? Did you try to memorize your pitch beforehand? How did you approach it? Anything you want to share?
This is Khadijah from Sugarlux. I have not pitched my business in a very long time, so this was a good exercise for me. And yes, I was nervous.
I could hear it in your voice a little bit, a teeny little bit, but you held it together. You stayed focused.
Yes, I tried, but it was really good to get a chance to talk to these ladies that I know from the social world in the internet, but we don't know each other necessarily in person, and just to see them and have conversation with them. And we all, like everyone said, relate to the same issues and struggles that we go through. And I'm just happy to have had the opportunity to not only pitch for you guys, but to also sit and talk with them for a little while. So thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes. And I, from Bold TV, I have never done a pitch before. So thank you for having me on and experiencing this. So what I have done to make sure that I am more well prepared for next time, I did sign up for Toastmaster, and I will start taking those classes every Wednesday. So next time I come back, I'll be better fine-tuned.
Awesome. And you were pitching to us here in this virtual space, but you were also pitching to all of the listeners in Philadelphia who are tuning in right now, which is thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people. So, I'm sure you'll be getting some traffic to your websites based on you being on this show tonight and talking about what you do and how you do it. You'll gain some new market share just from this experience here.
Amaya, I was going to ask that question. Do they have time to share their website or their phone number where the listeners can reach them? I'm looking forward to using these products and services myself.
Yes, let's do that. Maybe we can go through each person and you can tell our listening audience where they can find out more information about your business. Let's start with you, Miss Oak Tasting Ebony Dukes.
Hi. So if you're interested in booking or coming to attend one of our events, you can find us on blackoak.com, and Black is spelled BLAC and it's OAK. So BLAC, no K on Black. OAK. So blackoak.com, and that will have a list of all of our upcoming events, festivals, and everything are included there.
Wonderful. And I'm just going by who's next on my screen. Let's go to Chartel from our winner from Golden Water.
You can find our handcrafted soap, bath, body products, and some small home decor at goldandwaterco.com. And then all of our social media handles are also Gold and Water Co.
And so that's GOLDAND?
Yes, GOLDANDWATERCO.com.
Okay, great. And Khadijah Ford with Sugarlux, where can people find out more about your business?
Yes, I am on Instagram, and our website are both the same. It's Sugarlux. It's ITSSUGARLUXE.com, or on Instagram it's Sugarlux. And we have a class coming up in April, a new party that is going to be a good time. It's Paris themed, and we're making charcuterie cookies. So if you want to come out and decorate some cookies, then you can visit the website and sign up. It's April 23rd.
Great. Thank you, Khadijah. And let's go to Christine Ely. Where can people find out more about Wombish?
Definitely. If you are an expectant mother and you're interested in birthing confidently, you can check out our social media page on Instagram. It's WOMB.ISH. And from there, you can click on the link and it'll take you directly to the website.
Great. Thank you. And Carissa Page with
Yes.
TV.
Yes. If you're interested in buying a smart home charging station, you can go to boltsev.com, and it's BOLTSE for electric, V for vehicle.com.
Wonderful. Well, we have come to the end of this year's Level Up Pitch Party contest. I want to thank all of the finalists, all of those who submitted applications, all of the finalists who made it down in the final 5. I want to thank our judges, Regina Hairston, Baron Holland, and Pamela Rich Wheeler, for being on and participating again this year. We really appreciate your expertise and guidance here. And I want to thank the WURD team who helped work behind the scenes to put this together, and especially Kayla J., who has been our technical producer for tonight's show. And this is Amadi Braxton, host of Solutions. You will find me next week at this time at our regular Solutions show. Stay tuned for the Envy McKee show. Peace.
Thank you.
So many people right now motivated to do bullshit over some bull ass